Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Red Shirt Video. Welcome back to the tiny house. We're up here for the weekend. Yes, I got a late start today, so it's probably going to be a couple of short days. But let me show you what I'm going to get into. I have a few loose ends that I need to wrap up. When I was installing this piece of sheetrock, I noticed that there's not a stud on this wall right here in this corner. And I could probably get by without it just because the sheetrock's going to run right up to this angled piece. But I decided to go ahead and put a stud inside the wall for that, just to help hold the sheetrock on the corner here. I had to go pick up a 10-foot stud this morning, and I didn't bring my truck. And I have a sedan, a little Kia. Let me tell you something. Those sedans, I have a hatchback. Those things will really carry a lot more than you think sometimes. I put that 10-foot stud all the way from the back into the front floorboard. No problem. It just slid right in, shut the hatch, and drove out here. So it's kind of remarkable sometimes. So we're going to get that stud done. Also, I got to test these breakers. I already brought the generator over. It's sitting out here on the front porch. Going to be testing those. And let me show you something over here that I want to get done. So one thing I wished I would have done early on, and it just slipped my mind. There's a lot going on. You're excited about building a tiny house, and you're thinking about all the elements of it, the framing and everything that's to follow. And, you're thinking about materials and just a lot going on early on. And so one of the things I wanted to do was I got on Amazon. Let's see if, I don't know if you can see that good, but I bought some lag screws. These are construction grade lag screws. They're, it says number 14. I guess that's for the drill bit, the bit size, and they're 6 inches. And what I want to do with these is, in order to make a building a little more hurricane proof or tornado proof, when the rafter is coming down to the top plate, they make a bracket that you can put in. It goes up beside the rafter, and then it anchors to the top plate, and you put a bunch of screws in it. Well, I didn't do that, and I probably wasn't going to, but they have an alternate system that you can do. You can take these lag screws and you drill them in through the top plate right here and up into the rafter. Now these are 6 inches, which I probably should have got about a 5-inch, because these are almost too long. But I tried it on one of these other studs over here, and what I have to do is actually start right where the stud stops and screw it up through there and then into that rafter. And that way it takes up all 6 inches, and it'll sink far enough in without going through the roof on the top side. So I'm going to do a few of these. I've already sheetrocked over there. I wished I hadn't, but I did. So I'm gonna do probably every other one here on this side, all the way down the wall, and I'll catch the bedroom. And I may try to sneak one or two in over the sheetrock. I bet I could do that over there, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so at the top of the wall, you have two 2x4s laying down. One is the top over the studs, and then you have the top plate, and then you have the rafter. The rafter is only a 2x4, which is common on sheds, so it's not as tall as a normal rafter. It's only 3.5 inches, and then these two are 3 inches, and this is 6 inches. So I can't start at the top plate. I have to start at this other plate and really drill it home. So let's see here. Boy, I tell you, that is going to be close to going through the other side. Now there is a 1/2-inch decking up there too, so that helps me out a little bit. All right, so I got one there, one here, so I'm going to go down, catch another one. So I got this piece of sheetrock loosened up. I may have to take it all the way down, but anyway, I'm gonna try to sneak this stud back in here. So here I want to stress that if you have power running to your building, don't do this unless you really know what you're doing. This could be very dangerous. Now I've got that generator plugged into the outdoor outlet, which is right there. So it should be feeding this living room circuit. Got power. Okay, so the living room circuit is number 3 right here. So it should have power. Now these, I don't have it turned on, so it's not feeding anything else. So these are all dead. So fridge, kitchen, living. Let's go for bedroom. Okay. I'm not sure if that's the beginning of the circuit or the end of the circuit. We'll try that one. Bedroom. Number 2. Okay, so I just flipped the bedroom circuit on. So it's live. I don't have the outlets hooked up, so I can't test anything else in the room. But it is live to that circuit. Now in here we have kitchen GFI. Number 2. Let's turn that on. Kitchen GFI. Microwave. Refrigerator. Stove is behind that wood. Porch lights. Ceiling lights. Bathroom GFI. Bathroom light. Bedroom light. So today is day 2 for me, and I'm back up here a little earlier today. Sure felt good to get that electrical knocked out yesterday. I hope all the gremlins are gone now. Yesterday before I left, I got started marking this sheetrock, and it's going to be the piece that goes on this wall above the 2 windows, or around the 2 windows. So I'm going to get started cutting that, and then maybe do another sheet or 2 in here, and then hopefully get to the living room. So let's see if we can get some sheetrock done today. Okay, in an effort to save weight, I'm going to punch this window out. But because this strip over here is so small, I'm going to leave that one in. Not looking forward to this. Oh, it's not so bad. how'd we do? That'll work. I got it a little wide, but it's going to have window trim on it. It's not going to matter a bit. Okay, this is really heavy for me because there's not much cut off of it. And it's going up high on the walls. So let's see how it goes. A little thick right there, but we can still have paneling to go up, and I can get a large faceplate if I need to. So I broke one of these, but it doesn't matter. It's not going to matter. Oh, that's too tight. That's not good. Oh. So every day we hit a point where we just have to call it. I've got some other stuff going on and I need to leave. I was hoping to get a little more done today, but I got that wall finished with the sheetrock, and I got the upper piece put on that wall. Still got a little section at the very top, and I got another piece put above the window. I also got started, well, I finished doing the installation. There was some right behind that electric box and to the top, and then over here, that very last piece on the ceiling, that's the one that I pulled down when I fell off the ladder, but I got it put back up. So the insulation's finished in here and the whole building as far as I know. Had a few pieces put in the ceiling in this room, got that done. Really glad to get that electrical finished. I was dreading that, and I'm so happy with it. And the guy, my neighbor, came over today, and we were talking about what's going to happen probably in the spring. I'll have to call an engineer from the electric company out here to tell me what they need on my property. I already have an old pole and an old electric box, but I want to upgrade it, and I also want to bury it. So we're going to find out what all that entails, and he told me what kind of wire I need, so I'll keep my eyes open for that in the next few months, and maybe in the spring we'll have electricity. Should be ready to go as far as the inside of the tiny house is done. So it's kind of hard to imagine, but there'll be a bed in between those two windows coming out from the wall, and there should be plenty of room to have a walkway to my right here going to the door, and there should be enough room to get around the bed, maybe for one or two side tables. So I'm kind of encouraged, ready for the next phase. I was walking on my way to the barn and my foot tripped over something. Tell me if you know what that is.